Hey Wealth Builders! Welcome back to another episode of The Bemused. And on this channel we talk about all things personal finance for young adults just like you and us.
So if you're into that kind of stuff, go ahead and hit that big red subscribe button. And while you're at it, hit the notification bell so you never miss when we post new, fun, valuable content just like this video.
And of course I forgot to say, my name is Mishak.
And I'm Akiva.
And in this video we'll be talking about our 2020 online income. So let's get right on into it. So for 2020, as you know, we run our YouTube business, and we've been running it for about 2 years now. And there are different sections that make up our total revenue. So we're going to break everything down as much as we can, and we'll just get on into it.
And we're also going to cover not only our revenue, but our expenses too. So you get a sense of what it takes to run this business, what we decided to spend money on or invest in our business this year, and what kind of profit that left us with, if any.
So let's start with our first revenue item, which is ad revenue. So for 2020, in ad revenue, we made $3,390.42.
So this is what most people think of when they are researching, like, what do YouTubers make? This is our Google AdSense slash, YouTube revenue, the money that YouTube pays us for whenever you guys watch ads on our videos. We get a little bit of a cut of that profit from Google. Google owns YouTube, if you guys didn't know. So that is why they call it Google AdSense. So as I mentioned in a previous video, we did not post as much content in 2020 as we have in previous years, or that we plan to in this year, 2021, and going forward. So our ad revenue, it was our first full year of being monetized on YouTube, first of all. So this is kind of like our first year having complete set of data. But like I said, we didn't post as much as we did before. So our revenue definitely suffered because of that. So on average, we were getting about $250,000. So on average, we were getting about $250. So on average, we were making about $250 per month. And to be more specific, this is the money that we actually received in the year 2020, not necessarily how much money we earned. So the way YouTube works and the way that Google AdSense works is that the money that we earn from any views of ads in a certain month, we don't get paid out from that money until the 21st of the following month. So this number is the money we actually received in our hands throughout the year. So the money we made in December, we have not actually received yet. We won't get that until about January 21st, 23rd, depending on whenever it hits the bank account.
Next, we have bank interest. And for that amount, we have whopping $3.50. And that is, bank interest is we have a checking account with a bank that actually receives interest on checking accounts. So that's why. And the interest rates are very, very abysmal. So that's why it's so low. But it's something.
Every dollar counts.
Next, we have course revenue. And as you guys know, the Adulting Bootcamp was launched in 2020 around May or so. So for that amount, we have $8,014, which is actually like amazing for the amount of money that was invested into the whole process of creating the course. And shameless plug, if you want to learn more, don't forget to schedule a consultation call with Akiva, because there is still time to join the next live round, which is going to be, so I'm told, the last round, but we'll see.
Yes, it will be.
So the link to that will be down in the description box. And then speaking engagements. This is something that is a new line item, and it's also something that actually did really well over 2020. Akiva was the one who was actually doing all the speaking engagements, and the amount for that was $1,500.
Yep, so this year I really got more active with speaking, especially with the current environment. There were a lot more opportunities for virtual speaking events, and so I did a couple of speaking events, not crazy amount, just a couple, and that yielded $1,500 for those efforts. So that's definitely something that I have my eye on going into 2021 to further expand that revenue source as well.
So that brings total income to the business this year at $12,947.92.
Yes. So now let's jump down to our expenses. Let's see what it took to run this business, to create this revenue, and the strategic decisions we made to reinvest within the business. So I actually list the expenses from largest to smallest, just to give you a sense of like where our priorities were in 2020 and where we really made an intentional decision to invest in this business. So our largest expense line is actually education and training. So we spent a total of $1,847.19. That was primarily a course that I enrolled in that taught me how to create my online course, the Adulting Bootcamp, the program that I now offer. And that was a really great experience, a really smart decision. It really paid off for me. It just made a lot of sense. And so that was a really expensive course. I never in my life did I ever think I would spend that much money on an online course, but I'm happy that I took the plunge and did it. And now that is kind of the catalyst and the base for me to create the program that I have that has resulted in so much great success for the people who have gone through it, and to hopefully scale it as time goes on. We also bought a couple of smaller courses or guides and things like that to help us with like one-off things. So we had bought a bundle that really helped us with like Instagram and just online marketing, just different smaller things that really are useful in our business. The second largest expense we had in 2020 was professional fees, you guys. So this year we took the major step of hiring an attorney to trademark the Adulting Bootcamp. So we paid $1,625 for them to file this trademark. They've been through this process hundreds of times. They know all the pitfalls, things to look out for. They're doing the research to even make sure the Adulting Bootcamp is a trademarkable name. So we're in still the beginning phases, but we paid them up front. So we paid $1,625 for that. And I think it will be money well spent to protect our IP going forward as we scale. Our third largest expense was actually computer hardware. That's what it says technically here. But we bought a Mac Mini, you guys. So right now we are at the point in our business where Mishak and I, we're now living together. We've kind of gotten into a little bit of a routine and a process whereby we can really help each other out more in the business, specifically when it comes to editing videos, which is a major part of our business and the responsibilities that come into play. So previous to now, I was the one editing every single video that you've seen on this channel pretty much. And so now Mishak is going to be helping out a lot with the editing, and we wanted to have one central bay where one, we had the enough storage and the, just capacity and the, the memory, the RAM, whatever it takes to run heavy applications like Final Cut Pro that we use to edit our videos. So that we spent a total of $1,001.69. And again, this is just a long-term investment in our business. It takes money to make money and to make just life a lot easier. As you guys know, we run this. This is not our full-time job. This is a side hustle that we have on top of our very full-time jobs. So in whatever we can do to make things more efficient, we will invest the money to do so in order to do that. So those were our big three expenses. Our fourth largest expense was advertising and promotion. So that included paying a team member that we have that helps us a lot with our marketing and our graphics, so our thumbnails, Instagram, designing our merch, that kind of stuff. So most of that went to that individual to help us with our advertising, promotion, marketing efforts, including this design is also hers. So, check out our merch also. Link in the description box below if you're interested. But that's where most of that went. Of course, buying things like this, samples, once we're getting merch in order and things like that, that is all goes into that line item. So that was our fourth largest expense for 2020. Then we had office supplies, $612.64. So toward the end of the year especially, I bought a lot of things that again were necessary and good for us to create efficiency and also as we scale. Next up is our computer hosting type of fees. So we paid $250.76. So that covers things like our team email, our G Suite, our domain, things like that that we pay for on a regular basis just to help keep the business running. Then we had payment processing fees. So we talked about in the revenue section the money that we made from the Adulting Bootcamp in 2020. However, we did have to pay payment processing fees through the payment processor we collect payments from, and so of course that reduces our profit, and that was $225.56 out of that 8,014 we mentioned earlier. Then we had returns and refunds of $94.84. So there was a little bit of a billing mix-up with when we were charging for the Adulting Bootcamp. That money is on its way back to us, but while the whole thing was being settled out, of course we had to back that out of our revenue because we no longer have that money. So that'll come back to us in 2021, but for now we list it there as an expense because we don't got that cash right now. Then our second to last expense is what we call our software expenses. And this is primarily software that I purchased that we use within the Adulting Bootcamp. And that was $87.32. So that was paying for the scheduling software that I use to, when you guys go and book your calls with me, I have to pay for that scheduling software. There's a software that we use within the program itself that all the students get access to that I have to pay for in order for students to access. So those kinds of things went into, also related to the course, $87.32. And then our last expense was cost of goods sold. So essentially these include Etsy fees when we list new products on Etsy, and that's primarily what it was for 2020. There wasn't too much activity with our merch in 2020, but we did pay some listing fees, and that was $12.20. So our total business expenses for 2020 added up to $6,532.09, which brings our net profit to $6,519.89. So as you can see, we netted about 50% of our revenue, roughly, off of our $12,947, whatever that number was, income for the year. So that's an overview of the ins and outs of our business, the money we make, the money it takes to make the money that we make. And hopefully this was educational for those of you who are looking to kind of go down the same path, for those of you who are just interested to know what, course creators, YouTubers, whatever it is you're looking for, interested to know how our business runs and what we make. That's what it was for 2020. Hopefully more revenue coming in as a result of those efforts. So, it'll be fun to do this a year from now and see kind of what is the revenue we've made, what are the expenses that it took.
You plan to do this yearly?
I don't know why not. We'll see. And in terms of our business revenue goals, we have big goals for this year, you guys. This year, my stretch goal is to make $50,000 of revenue. That is the goal. And so rallying the team around that goal, setting a plan, and hopefully we make it. So we'll see what happens this year, but we're definitely working our hardest to scale this business.
So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss when we post new content. Of course, comment down below what you think about how we are doing with our revenue and expenses throughout 2020. And maybe, tell us how you think that we could save some money or some things we could invest in that you may or may not know about. Well, more of the ones that you may know about. We will see you in the next one. Bye.